Hello. Happy whatever day you're watching this. It is a snowy February day here in Minnesota, and I'm loving it. It is just so pretty. So it's bringing me a sense of calm and peace today as I bring you this lovely yin class. Just focused on just being, no doing today. Let's just be comfortable with it, knowing that everything else can wait. And that's always our message in yin, right? Do your best. Give yourself plenty of time to settle in. Let your thoughts come, see them, acknowledge them. We're human. And then just do your best to let them wait. Just set them aside. Tell them they can wait. So grab your props, blanket, blocks, bolsters, water, run to the restroom, grab a speaker, whatever it is that you need. And then we will get started. So pause me if you need. Come on back. We are starting today. Our class is very immunity based today. The flow is very much to support our immune system as there's still, COVID going around, but doesn't mean that the rest of the germs have left either. So we're just going to do our best to set our immune systems up for success. So go ahead and set up here for modified legs up the wall, or you can take legs up the wall if you'd prefer. I have my two blocks at their tallest height, just less than a block's distance apart, set up about, I don't know, a third or a quarter of the way from the bottom of the mat. And grab a blanket, maybe two if you're tall, roll it up, and just place it on top of those blocks. It should be supported, not tipping over. Start your music if you'd like, or maybe start it once you lay down. And then we're just going to bring the backs of the knees to the top of the blanket. Maybe scooch your bottom a little bit closer, slowly making your way down, maybe tucking the shoulders once you land, wiggle in and out of the hips. Let your arms just fall however they might feel nice here. Cactus them, let them come long. Give the shoulders a slight tuck if you haven't already. Closing the eyes down. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Big in breath. Exhale, release, softening in the shoulders. Good. Just bringing your awareness to your breath, slowing it down, in and out through the nose. Taking notice of your surroundings, the eyes closed. Notice the temperature of the room. Any breezes, buzzing. Noticing any external distractions here. Send them on their way or give them the label. It's just what they are. They're just a distraction. Just set it aside. Bring it back to your breath. On each exhale, letting gravity feel like it's pulling you a little bit deeper into the mat. Once you feel settled in here, give yourself as much time as you need to. Don't rush that. But as soon as you do, take some time to set your intention. Giving this time a purpose, a mantra, a prayer, whatever you need. starting to find comfort with the stillness and quiet of the body. Recognizing tension or discomfort that might arise as a result, whether it's in the thoughts, the breath, or the body. Embracing whatever arises, using your breath to calm it. If there's something particularly loud or that's just hanging around, just sit with it. Sit with it, feel it, explore it, and then again, just try to set it aside. Or perhaps using that, turning your intention towards that. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. Let's inhale, draw those knees towards your chest. Maybe let that low back round off the mat. Start to let those knees come wide, grabbing towards your ankles or the outside edges of the feet. The soles of the feet or those toes come together for a reclined frog. Then maybe you make your way towards a happy baby. We're going to be here for 2 minutes, so give yourself time to let the hips start to open. Being gentle with yourself, kind. Now we're grabbing onto our feet here, but just notice what your shoulders, just wiggle them around here, trying not to feel like you're gripping so much that your shoulders are starting to hunch up. Opening those feet towards the sky as it feels okay, if at all. You don't need to go fully there. Once you're there, if it feels okay, maybe massaging the spine out, just very gentle back and forth. I know it's yin, so we don't like to add too much movement. But if it feels nice, your body's craving it, just listen. Full unrushed breathing. Just a few more breaths here. Two more. After that next exhale, gently bring the soles of the feet back together if they're not there already. And gently draw the knees in. Take a reclined child's pose here. And we're going to let our feet come to the mat. Maybe just move the props out of the way, slide them to the side, but grab a block. We're going to take a supported bridge pose. So our knees are bent, feet and knees hip distance apart. Should be able to just touch the heels. Inhale, hips lift, placing that block at the very base of your back at the sacrum, either at that lowest level or the medium level.
Maybe lift or raising the height if it feels all right as you settle in. Shoulders tuck. Big breath to settle. Soften through the jaw. Nice big breaths. If you want to extend out your legs long or arms overhead, or maybe let the knees come together and the feet walk wide, if you'd like that. Just notice how your breath feels. Notice if it's calm or rushed or quiet and soft. About a minute left here. Three more breaths. If you have anything extended or those knees together, let's bring it back to where we started. Pressing the feet in the mat, gently lift the hips just to remove the blocks slowly, coming down from the top of the spine to the bottom, finding a neutral spine. Walk those feet to the outside edges of the mat and let the knees come in. 3 big breaths here in neutral. And bring those feet back to hips distance apart. Just gonna roll over to the side. Take a moment here in fetal pose. Be really drawing those knees up, hugging them in. Just taking a few breaths here. Just pausing. And then when you're ready, just make your way towards a tabletop. Wrists stacked under shoulders, knees under hips. Close your eyes down here and take some cat-cows or hip circles or whatever gentle, slow movements here your body is craving. So moving with your breath. Nice, gentle, unrushed movements. Whatever just organically enters in here. Just taking a chance to just explore your body, explore these gentle movements with your breath. Take just a couple more rounds of breath, so making sure that you're balancing any of the movements out. Meeting in a neutral spine once you feel balanced. Then tuck the toes. We're just going to take a little down dog here. Press those hips high. Maybe keeping a little bend to the knees to keep it a little bit more gentle. Or pedaling it out if you'd like. Release the neck. Just reset the spine here. You don't need a full engagement of your down dog, but certainly make sure your alignment feels safe. Let's take a cleansing breath here together. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Then an inhale, just walk your hands back to your feet. You can widen your feet here. We're going to take a dangling pose. If it's more comfortable for you to have your toes out, heels in, like a wide-legged fold, that's absolutely okay. Just give your knees a bend. Neck releases. You can use blocks here if you'd like to support your hands. Or you can even do opposite elbows for ragdoll. If it's a lot for you to have your head this far beneath your heart, just bring those arms to the tops of the knees or the lower thigh area so the head is more in line with the heart. Just hang and breathe. Trying to soften in the jaw, the eyes. Just a few more breaths here. Let's take two more. Inhale to a half lift. We're just going to spin those toes out, heels in. Exhale to start to squat down towards our yogi squat, maybe grabbing a block or two and sitting on the block. Just adjusting here as you need to. Those hands support you, or you can draw them to heart. Your neck release, chin towards your chest here. Two more breaths here. And just start to bring that head back up to neutral. We're going to make our way towards tabletop and then come all the way down to our bellies. Once on our belly, we're going to find a Sphinx pose. So drawing those forearms to the mat, those elbows can be stacked under the shoulder or slightly out in front of them. Hands are shoulders distance apart, fingers are spread. I'm on the tops of my feet. You can have a block here if you'd like to help support your head once you start to really sink into the pose. Maybe a blanket even to support that upper belly area. You can roll it up and stick it there. Once you're set up here, start to find an energetic pull. Draw the elbows towards your hips and hips towards your elbows. Then you can release the shoulders and the neck. Here's where it might feel nice to stick a block under your forehead if you'd like that extra support. You can draw the elbows closer so they're more, or not closer, but more in line, more stacked under the shoulders if that feels okay. Taking a breath here to settle into Sphinx. You can also keep your neck lifted. Just trying not to have too much tension in the shoulders here. To deepen into the back bend, into that low back, you can always bend your knees. Wherever you're at here, making sure you're carrying that inhale fully into that belly just to help support the low back. Got about a minute left here in Sphinx pose. If you would like to bend your knees and deepen, if you haven't already, or you can stay where you're at. Really filling that belly with the air, the in-breath. Two more breaths here in Sphinx. Lowering the legs if you have them lifted on that next exhale. Take an inhale. Exhale, lowering all the way down, cactusing the arms. Let's draw that left ear to the mat and bring that right knee so it's in line with the hip. Find a half frog pose. Take a big breath here. Softening. Taking a moment to connect with the heartbeat. Feeling the rise and fall of that back body with the breath. Take 2 more breaths here. We're going to start to extend that left arm long like a T. Taking our broken wing pose, bring that right hand under the right shoulder. Tuck the left toes. Pressing that right hand into the mat, we're just going to start to roll onto that left side body. Being gentle here in this left shoulder as it opens behind us. That right foot can kickstand behind you and rest there, or it can lay just over that left one, or maybe it rests in front, whatever's best for you. We're here for a couple minutes, so give that left shoulder time to open. And then if it does at some point create depth, you can bring the right fingertips behind you to rest. Soften your jaw here, really let it feel heavy. Trying to release the clenching or the tension in that left shoulder and extended arm. Few more breaths. If you have that right hand behind you, go ahead and bring it back in front. And then slowly make your way back towards your belly, gently coming out of that left shoulder. Cactus both arms here, taking a couple of breaths in neutral. And then we're going to make our way back to Sphinx pose. Draw those forearms to the mat. Elbows in line or stacked under the shoulders. Fingers are spread to find that energetic pull. And then you can stay here in Sphinx, or if you want to move to Seal,
We can widen the hands and start to press the hands into the mat as you straighten through the elbows. Deeper into the back bend here, so being gentle. Real full breaths into the low belly. And like I said, if you prefer seal or Sphinx or the deeper version of that with your knees bent, you can do that. A few more breaths here. On your next exhale, you'll slowly lower, cactusing the arms. This time bringing that right side to the mat. Drawing that left knee so it's in line with that left hip. Cactus. Settling in here with a breath. Softening the jaw. Okay, 2 more breaths here. And start to straighten that right arm long. Tuck those right toes. Left hand under the left shoulder. Gently pushing yourself over to that right side body. Adjusting here. Stopping in those initial sensations in that right shoulder. Letting that left foot rest, whether it's behind you or on top of the right leg or on a block. Soften the jaw. And working so far with our lymphatic system and our breath. And that fluid to move from the feet to the head. And now we are opening the chest, making extra space for the new breath.
Few more breaths here. If you have that left hand behind you, go ahead and bring it back in front and gently, slowly move to the belly. Cactusing the arms once you arrive. Chin to the mat, just taking a few breaths here. And when you're ready, bring the hands under shoulders, tuck the toes. Start to press yourself up towards table, draw those knees in towards each other. Hips shift back towards the heels for a child's pose. Letting that low back round as you fold over the thighs. Forehead to the mat. Arms can be long here. They can come back behind you if you'd prefer. If you want to take a blanket or bolster, pillow by the backs of the knees for some support, do that. Settle in. Slow the breath. Just taking a moment here, noticing what's going on. If there's any thoughts hanging out or distractions. Checking on the quality of the breath. Maybe visualizing the breath carrying up the spine from the base of the spine to the top. Nice and slowly, and then exhaling to release and soften. Taking a moment, reconnecting with your intention. Take a few more breaths here. One more breath. Maybe just stretch the arms out here, draw those elbows off the mat and reach those fingertips. Feeling that stretch to the armpits. Big breath. And gently making your way towards tabletop. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. We're just going to take a counter shoulder stretch here to the broken wing. Inhale, draw that left hand up overhead, reaching it, maybe rolling out the wrist. Exhale to thread it underneath that left side. Finding that right shoulder, head, right temple towards the mat or on a block or a blanket. The left arm can come long here. It can bind behind you. Nice deep breaths. Letting the heaviness of your upper body just gently deepen that stretch in the shoulder if it feels okay, or back out if it's painful. About a minute left here. Let's take 2 more breaths. When you're ready, left hand towards eye level. Inhale to gently press yourself up. Send that right hand back up to the sky. Maybe stretching it up overhead, rolling out here as you'd like. Maybe even cactusing into that left elbow or binding it behind, right elbow, binding it behind. Draw that right elbow away from your body. Anything here that just feels good. And then coming out of it when you're ready. Right hand lands. Inhale that left hand up to the sky, rolling out the wrist. And on an exhale, threading that left arm under the right. Finding that left shoulder head, left temple area to the mat. Right arm can extend. Maybe it eventually binds. Big breath to settle in, softening the jaw. A minute left.
2 more breaths. And bring that right hand to eye level. Inhale. Slowly lift. Send that left arm back up to the sky, maybe reaching up overhead, rolling out the wrist or cactusing. Finding if you did that on the other side. Just a couple of breaths just to get the wiggles out from the stillness and the stretch. Bring that left hand back to the mat when you're ready. Then anything else you need here before we make our way to our seat. If you want a couple rounds of cat-cow or a down dog. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way to a seat for a butterfly pose. I'm not there yet. Take your time if you're moving through anything. In butterfly pose, sometimes it is nice to sit on a blanket just to elevate the hips slightly. So I'm just getting that ready. And make your way to your seat when you're ready. Soles of the feet together. Heels away from the pelvis, so nice diamond shape here. Again, you can sit on a blanket if you'd like. Maybe you use blocks to help support your head once you fold down, or they can support underneath the knees here as well. So when you're ready, inhale. Exhale to start to fold it forward just until you feel those initial sensations. Wiggling around a little bit just to help find a little bit of space to settle in. Your back can round, chin can tuck, or perhaps you rest on a block. Nice big breath here to settle and soften in the shoulders, the jaw. Use your breath here to quiet the mind, to release the tension. Feel the breath carrying up through the spine. Really see it and visualize it. Just releasing here a bit through the hips. And the tension and the emotion we hold there. A strong immune system needs some release of that emotional stress. About a minute left.
Take 2 more breaths here. And on an inhale, slowly lift. Letting out the exhale. Let's take a breath. Maybe a cleansing breath. And if you're sitting on a blanket, go ahead and remove it. We're going to set up for a supported fish and then make our way to our backs. So grab your blanket, create kind of a base that's an inch-ish thick, press down, and then roll that up. About a third of the way from the top of your mat. And before you lower, if you need a drink of water or anything else, sweater. We're not coming back up. We're going to be down here through Shavasana. So if you want to grab an extra blanket or anything, do that. Then slowly start to make your way down, right at the bra strap levels where that blanket should hit. So the bottoms of my shoulder blades are resting right where the blanket begins. Legs can be long, or you can bring the soles of the feet together towards the bottom of the mat. Arms cactus, close the eyes down. Give yourself a nice big inhale here. Exhale, release the breath. Soften the shoulders. Slow the breath down. Taking a moment here to check in. Maybe just scanning slowly, a little bit at a time, each fingertip at a time, each toe. 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, feet to the mat, knees are bent. Pressing the feet into the mat, lift the hips like you're coming into bridge, pulling out the blanket and slowly making your way back down to the mat. From the top of the spine to the bottom. Taking a moment here in neutral, maybe even hugging everything in, and that low back come off of the mat as you draw those knees in. Head can stay down, or you can bring that chin up. And we're going to let that right foot find the mat, crossing that left knee over, bumping that right side body under, right hip under, just a little. Let those knees start to fall towards the right for our reclined twist here. That left shoulder continue to ground down towards the mat. Maybe looking over that shoulder if it feels okay in your neck. If you get here and the twist is too much or it's already at its higher level, maybe place some support underneath this left knee, or maybe even let that right leg come long so it's not quite as deep. Big breaths into the spine as we twist to cleanse. Let's take 3 more breaths. Next, inhale, bring the neck back to neutral and gently untwist. Uncross that left knee, switching sides, crossing that right over the left. Bring that left hip under you. Letting your knees start to gently fall towards that left side. Right shoulder grounds down. Arms can cactus. Gaze can follow over that right side. Big breath to settle into the twist on this side. Three more breaths here. Inhale, neck comes back to neutral. Gently unwind the spine, uncross the knees. Hug it all in here one more time. Curling up nice and tight. Maybe massaging the spine if the head's on the mat. Windshield wipering the knees if you'd like by bringing the feet wide. Just a couple of times on each side. One last pose here on each side before Shavasana. Let's let our legs and arms come long, maybe taking a full body stretch. We'll just get in a side bend here just to balance it all out. So Banana Asana, so we'll bring that right foot over to the outside of the mat on the right side. Left ankle crosses over the right. Maybe letting those left toes hook on the outer edge of that right foot. Picking up the head and shoulders, bring them to the right. Finding that left wrist with the right hand. It's a very gentle pull there. Try not to over grip. Maybe letting that right side of the face fall towards the ground. Soft, full breaths to carry up that left side body. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Just gently releasing. Bring yourself back to center. Switching sides. Left foot comes to the outer edge. Right ankle crosses over. Just hooking those toes to the outer edge of the foot. Head and shoulders move to the left. Finding that right wrist in the left hand. Just a very gentle pull. Big breath, carrying up that left or that right side body. Just being mindful not to over grip here. Three more breaths. Gently releasing, coming back to center. Anything else you need here before Shavasana, go ahead and take it. And finding whatever shape you want for Shavasana today. If you're in corpse pose, just let those legs come long, ankles fall open, arms alongside you. Tuck the shoulders, slight tuck of the chin. Close the eyes down, take a nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth, release it. Just let the breath go back to its natural rhythm. Resting here in Shavasana, letting yourself remain for this final pose. Letting your body absorb your practice. Scanning and feeling the pulsing. Start to deepen the breath, bringing back awareness by wiggling the fingers and toes, nodding the head. When you're ready, drawing those arms up overhead. Big inhale, full body stretch. Exhale to release. And bending your knees, bring your feet to the mat and rolling over to either side, finding your fetal pose. Letting your head rest in your arm, closing the eyes back down. Taking a minute there to reconnect with the breath and with your intention. And then when you're ready, start to make your way back to a seated position. Taking your time. Once you're there, hands to heart. Tuck the chin, let your eyes draw shut. Thumbs connecting. Taking a moment here to connect with those internal rhythms, your beating heart, the rise and fall of your beautiful breath. Letting that and how you feel inside right now, this calm and peace and love, remind you that you are here, that you are enough, that you are so very worthy. Thank you again so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a great rest of the day, the days ahead. Namaste.
Thank you. Have a good week. See you next time.